Mapping out.
Hello. Happy Monday. Happy first Monday of October. And we're going to get started on sharing what October all has in store. We're still waiting for some people to jump on. So I'm just going, oh, there she is. There's Shelly. I got you. All right. Let me get my screens organized. It just moved on me. So let's start with October and what we're all looking at for what Plexus is giving us in October. So next day pay is still on. That's really cool. I've really noticed the difference on that. I don't know if you guys have, but you sponsor someone and the next day you've gotten paid for them. And then last month it was double. And I was like, where did this money come from? And there it was. I really thought that was a very good incentive for new people. We still have 3 months of free shipping for new VIPs. And as I understand, October is the last month for new VIPs to get that. So enroll with 100 PV between August 13th and October 31st, and you receive free shipping on one order per month for 3 months, including your enrollment order. And this month, we're all getting some Lululemon, hey? Enroll 3 new VIPs with an order of 100 PV, and you earn a $150 Lululemon gift card, which translates in Canadian to just 200. I think it's just over 200 maybe. If you enroll 6 with a qualifying initial order, you would earn an extra, making for a total of 300 USD. That's a chunk of money already. That would pay to go to Lululemon for, hey? Leaders Retreat is still on September 1st to December 31st. So you still have October, November, and December to earn this. This has been amazing to see how it's adding up. I'm always like, okay, I have no idea where these credits are all going to come from. And then all of a sudden they're starting to add up, right? And it will for you as well, focusing on the icon. Icon Club is still on. We have until December 31st to earn Icon. I know multiple people are working towards that. And that is the gist of October. So back to several of those things. Yes, this contest has just started. So we're 1 month in. Really, it's October. And it always feels like I said last time already, it always feels a little bit like a refresh. It feels like it's like a almost new year, and people are getting back into like a seasonal mindset. Well, I think we all live in places of where we have different seasons and the change of seasons. Routines return. People get more reflective of what they've done over summer, right? They feel like they need a shift into like structure or wellness or extra income for the holidays. All these things are more in front of their face again, and all these things are probably conversations that you've had with people already. So it's an excellent time to go back and refresh some of those conversations, right? And the power of reaching out. I love when we get to this time of the year, it always feels like there's nothing new aside from the fact that we are talking to new people all the time, right? And today I was thinking of like, I just thought someone drove up. There's so many different scenarios out there, and just the power of reaching out to people daily and who we talk to as a group. Like if you scan back and wonder, who did Sheila talk today? Who did Esther talk today? Like who are all the people that all of us talk to today? And if we would put them into a circle, and how many people would that be? And what would their needs be? There's a lot of different needs, and I was thinking of some just, basic things that are like off the top of your head. So say it's the mom that is making a separate lunch. This is common to us, so I thought of this one. A separate lunch for a child that has food sensitivities, right? Packing up your own food because you're going somewhere. It's the dad that isn't home for supper because he's working an extra job. Or it's, an influencer that you think is crushing it and looks like she's got all these comments, but you don't know that she's drowning in debt behind the scenes. We just really don't know, right? And so in these conversations, very often some of these struggles come up and we get to touch people's lives of where they are at. And so again, this week I had the conversation of, what do you lead with, the product or the business? And I said, you know, I never pick one. And I obviously always do both, but I feel like leading with your presence to first make a connection and asking questions and listening well and checking in and staying consistent means people know what you're following up about. I have had multiple conversations in the last week again that I never mentioned Plexus, but they brought it up because we'd had a previous conversation about it, right? And so that brought me to sharing the business opportunity in a bold way and very heart-centered, very much we're not just offering a business, right? We're offering a lifeline, and we're offering the opportunity isn't just about us here. The opportunity is about what it could be for them. And it's about helping families in the economy that we're in right now. I know that anybody who's working on building anything, any fall projects, any home rental projects, it just about blows me over to look at the prices of wood, of supplies, of paint. We went and bought a little bit of treated deck boards and, just a couple of 4x8s. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. This is just unbelievably expensive. It's very hard for families to bring in anything extra as projects or as extra, let's make this nice or let's do this for our kids, because there isn't margin anymore. And that's not even with talking about the prices of food and all those things. Sheila just bought snowsuits. Lots of money later, right? Kids are growing. All these things are. So there's a couple of things that I thought of today, which ties in with the finances are stressful on marriages, because it really burns you out. And it's really hard when you and your spouse are fighting over where to spend limited income. And both of the needs that the spouses are verbalizing are necessary things, right? And then I think about how health issues are stealing energy and joy and peace because you can't keep up when your health isn't there, right? And then that turns into fear, and fear silences dreams. And so often we meet someone and we're talking about, what are your dreams? What would you love to do? And they kind of get this blank stare over their face and they're like, I don't know how, I don't dream, right? It's something that they have forgotten how to actually empower within themselves because of the fact that these stresses have been there, or they're not understanding that they actually have opportunities to help themselves out of it, right? And this business has the power to not just transform their family, but the generations to come as well. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be willing. So Paige was going to share a little bit. I think the Alberta families are feeling a little bit of the crunch of what's going on. And for some families, I love how you said it was just a regular day for you. And I have heard unbelievable things. If you haven't watched Paige's stories, why is it that we're so programmed to think children shouldn't be at home, right? And now this whole Alberta teachers strike is throwing off families. And I can imagine it must be hard. I was once a working mom with kids in school too. I can empathize with that. It's a big deal. I don't know if that's what you were going to talk about, but share what's on your heart. We would love to hear.
It wasn't what I was going to talk about, but it's kind of related, I guess.
Perfect.
Last year I made it a goal to be friends with all the teachers at school. I wanted to just No, I wanted them to know how much I cared and supported them. And so I started this thing last year where once a month I would either write them a note or bake them cookies or bring them things so that we could start developing relationships. And this year has come around and there was an email sent out by the gym coaches and they sent the email to 1,000 parents and they said, hey, we're looking for a coach to teach the or to coach the junior high volleyball team. Email us back, let us know. And I said, well, yeah, I would love to. And they said, but you don't have any skin in the game. Like, you don't have any kids playing volleyball this season. And I said, look, it's more for me than it is for you. Because if I can lead grade 7 and 8 girls well, surely I can lead women. Like, right? Like maybe I can work on my communication skills and I can work on my just my all my everything skills, right? And so I said, I think it is more for me than it is for you. And don't take that the wrong way. But the coaches have said, yeah, absolutely. And I read a quote saying, if you want to be a good leader, volunteer more. And not in the sense of wearing it as a badge of honor. Like, look at me, I'm so busy, I'm volunteering everywhere, but to actually volunteer with intention and not overdoing it, but just with the intention of leading well, like leading one group or whatever well, not just to be like, I'm volunteering everywhere and I'm doing all the things. Like, I know that serving our families, Breton's family and my family, we grew up serving people all the time. People who had more than us, people had who had less than us. It's ingrained into who we are. It really is. And so I come by it easily. Like, it's not difficult for me to serve other people. And so anyway, I just thought when I heard that quote, I thought, yeah, I just want to lead well. And so anyway, so every time I get like a Facebook notification that another teacher has decided to follow me on Instagram, I'm like, oh, well, look at that. That's so fun. And like, I just see these little things trickle down. And so it really is, not overthinking it and just getting into the connection piece. I tell every single teacher who teaches my kids, look, at this point, you see my children more than I do during the day, during the waking hours, right? So I said, we're kind of co-parenting, and I want to have a really good, strong relationship with you. I want to know like what you stand for, so you know what I stand for. We're in each other's lives. Like, your wagon is hitched to mine, and I want us to communicate and lead well. And I think, isn't that the way with business and with regular life too, but just leading and volunteering more and just like really just loving, like the language of love and serving. So anyway, that's all I was going to share is just that quote, if you want to be a better leader, volunteer more.
I love that so much. And if you're going to be looking for opportunities to volunteer, you will have plenty. You will have plenty because we've run into the situation of where we had too many opportunities to volunteer and not enough time. That is so good, Paige. I love that. And I love how you connected that we're co-parenting. Your teachers get a lot of time with your kids. It's true. And the better they know the parent, the better they can help the child. Absolutely. That's an excellent thing. Since we're only like a small group here today, I'm going to change a little bit of what I had down for notes. I had some questions where I was going to say like drop a one in the chat, but no, I'm going to ask you to unmute and share a little bit because we're only a few people here. And I think it just is so encouraging when we share things like this because it helps us to see that everybody has places and people in their lives that we can, be open-minded for of what we're doing for them, which potentially could lead to Plexus, not always does, but the serving part is still there, right? So one thing that I've thought about is sharing plexus with people that intimidate us. Very often, these are the people that are the closest to us. And most often, we fear their rejection or criticism or snootiness, whatever the reaction may be. What is an experience that you had in something like this? We would love to hear some stories. Think about that one a little bit, and then I'll share another one. Um, or did someone else's story finally make you say yes to something, not necessarily plexus? So if you have anything on those, unmute and share. I know the whole feeling nervous about sharing plexus with someone got me to a point of where I didn't even really want to share plexus with any family, simply because I was hesitant on the reaction that I would get, until I actually had immediate family members reach out and say, "Can I get something that you're using? Like, literally, can I get it too?" And I was like, okay, I really should have been a little bit more free with sharing what it was, because it's not always a negative reaction, right? Sometimes it's just people seeing that you're thriving and doing well, and you're not making them take what you're taking. So they're curious.
I think what I've been noticing is when done well and from a place of calm energy and genuine, I see what you bring to the table. I've had lots of no's, but lots of thank yous.
Mm-hmm.
People can seem to sense when you're like what my verbiage kind of I've been using lately is I'm realizing that I'm a CEO of my own company and I don't want just anyone working for me. I'm very particular. I get to travel with people and I want to do it with people who are really fun. And this is what I see in you. And I don't even know if you've ever thought about this and it might not be for you, but I really would love you to consider doing this. We could spend time together and then whatever their strengths are, if I know them well, I'm kind of building that in there. And I'm like, would you be open to a conversation? Right. And then of course, using Eric Worre's on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your interest at? And a lot of people have had said no, but not like never. They're like, it's interesting you would think of me. I'm not sure this is for me, but do you want to get together for a walk? And this one gal, she did that. And then she keeps bringing it up. So I know she's definitely interested. And so I think we have to realize and normalize. And I think, I can't remember, I think it was Eric Worre who said this too. I just can't remember where. You put someone's name down the first time you ask them and you put 11 boxes behind their name. Expect them to say no 11 or 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
And after your first no, how do you plant the next seed? What do you do to have the next connection, to have the next? And when we normalize people say no all the time, it took me a year and a half on the products to say yes, you guys. Like I had 5 customers within 6 months because they saw my results, but I wasn't really caring for them. I wasn't really thinking of myself as a business builder. I didn't really commit till a year and a half into the process, almost 2 years. And so people will take a long time, but people that are better than me, people I feel like I'm recruiting up, if you do it from a caring place, it's still hard to hear no every day, but it won't be no forever.
I love how you started off with a compliment of what you saw in them, because that actually calls them higher, right? It's not about you, it calls out the greatness in them. I love that, Shelly. And being the CEO of your own company, it's true, right? And being picky about who we want to work with, those are all options that we have.
Lately, something I've been doing, if you feel like you've friend zoned yourself a little bit, where like you've been chatting with somebody online for a long time and you're like, oh my goodness, now how do I even open the door? I've made it so simple for myself. I literally send them a message and I say, can I ask you a question? And then I leave it at that. When they come back and they're like, yes, of course you can. That's a wide open door for me. Of course I can ask them a question. It's like I've gotten their permission before anything.
Mhm.
And I have not had a yes from those conversations yet, but it's like Shelley said, I have had a lot of very good, respectful conversations from those questions that I know are seeds planted for the future.
That's so good. And it's so simple, right? We overthink of how we want to ask. It's
So simple.
Mhm.
Like, have you ever thought of doing what I do? Like, do you know how much fun we would have? We would have so much fun.
Yeah, so like I've shared with my family often, especially my in-laws and stuff. But they're always never interested. But some of like, okay, last month one of them she wanted to order vitamins for her kids, and she's been interested, especially for years. She even came with me to one event in Lethbridge, but yeah, now she wants to order them this month when they're, when we have the free shipping. So hopefully she does. If that's all she ever gets, because her kids are always sick, and well, our kids are not. So I think they've seen that, and I actually shared with one of my other sister-in-laws, who's, well, her husband especially, but a huge skeptic, especially of Plexus. So I like her kid or her daughter has very bad eyesight, but I know the omegas and stuff, that's really important for eye health and stuff. So I did share, and I just opened my cabinet and it's like, this is what I'm giving my kids, and the ingredients in there, I kind of told her a little bit, and I just closed the cabinet, and I don't know if that will get her ordering them, but she's concerned of her daughter's eye health. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I've decided not to make it weird. It's not about me. Like if they want it, I have it. If they don't want it, that's fine. Because it's not about me.
And being genuine, right? Being genuine, and it allows them to decide if they want to or not. But they see things like that. That's so good. I've gone through new people sharing, or new VIPs, and had the conversation on helping them share right away. I had a really good conversation with my new VIP where I said, who is one person that you could bless with better health or more income? Would you pick someone if you could do that? And she's like, someone? No, I would pick more. Can I pick more? And I'm like, you can pick as many as you want. But that's actually what we do. And she said, you totally reframed how I thought of that. And then we had a good conversation. So we're doing a mini launch event for her, which is, again, just an open door to starting, right? But she doesn't want a business, and she's not telling people about Plexus. So I said, that's okay. I can do that. I'm just going to do the wellness event. She's just doing the inviting, right? It allows them to come alongside and not feel like they're pressuring, because they have to first get into the whole we're helping mindset. Okay, so I had several different questions. I didn't have a whole lot for tonight. Where was I? Talking about the business and talking about the income and how we share the opportunity to earn, right? And often this is a more of a topic of where, how should I say that? People have preconceived notions about what we do, right? And so this happened in a group that I was in a holistic group, where someone again was asking for an opportunity to make money from home. And then I worded it so that it was open. I forget exactly what I said, but I said, if you're open to learning different opportunities, I have an opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And I shared a little bit about what I had done, right? And immediately we had the anti-MLMers underneath in the comments. And then I went back and very kindly said, I knew these were coming, which is why I worded it this way. And now you get to choose which to believe. One of us has had success and one of us has not. And I thought, well, here goes nothing. And the lady that had dropped the comment and asking for opportunities did come back and have a conversation. So basically, my point there being, don't be intimidated at how people get really mean in groups or on reels in the comments. People are crass when it comes to other opportunities, right? And very much keyboard warriors, yes. And I always think that's our opportunity to show them that we're different. We are different. We aren't like them. Any experiences that you would add to that?
I've just had the same thing in groups where there's those keyboard warriors and they're very negative. And I've just said, that's why I said this isn't for everyone. I'm always like, this isn't for everyone. I found success. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm like, everyone else is saying things. A lot of people are saying, start a bakery, sell stuff from home. I'm like, I would never do that. So there's lots of options and they get to pick you know, and various versions of that, right? And I've had people actually apologize and say, you know, like, sorry, because I'm like, if you're not in an MLM and you're not looking for something, you have no business reading this comment. Like, I don't have time to read other people's stuff that I don't care about. Like, so, but often just reframing it and sometimes asking a question, did you mean to sound critical? Did you mean to sound rude? Like just making people kind of think twice. And I've often just, you can, if you have a good relationship, like sometimes you see the same people in chats over and over and again. And if I sense that, okay, this person wants something, they need something, I'll comment on all their stuff. You build a relationship and then you can say, you've gotten 50 suggestions and that's a great one. I love what I do. Let me know if you want that. And if not, I'm praying for you and I really hope this works out. I'm excited that you're choosing something from home so you can stay home with your kids. I'm so excited for you. Like, again, you're making it about them. Then when they have questions, they're a lot more likely to reach out to you than for someone who's just like, this is my opportunity. Because some people do bluff their opportunity in a really inappropriate way. So just make it about them. Think about them, praise and applaud them for what they're doing, and then say, this is one option. It looks like you have many options. I'm excited for you to pick something. Here's what I do. And it again, and then if people are negative, you can just say, this isn't for you, and that's okay.
Water off a
And
duck's back.
if people are negative, this is such a good opportunity to develop grit and develop that thick skin. Because no matter what you do, there is going to be somebody who does not like it. And you could be doing it perfectly for one person, and then the next person will turn around and be like, I don't like that. That is just how the world is. And so no, it doesn't matter what you post, it doesn't matter what you do, there will be somebody that doesn't like it. My page on Instagram has gotten a little bit more attention lately, and so that means I've gotten more. You get positive, and you with it comes the negative. And if you let it stop you, and if you let it bother you, then they are winning. They are then winning because you are then dimming your light and holding yourself back from people that are waiting to hear from you.
Or playing
No matter
small.
what it's no matter what it's for. When you play small, then you are holding yourself back from people that are waiting to hear from you, whether it is for Plexus or for faith or whatever it may be.
I had one opportunity, like Shelly said, where the mom was asking for something to do from home because she really just didn't want to go back to work anymore. And so I said, okay, I'll be this mom. Fast forward yourself 20 years. I was you 20 years ago, where I brought the baby away when I was working. And had I had what I have now, I would have given anything to stay at home, anything. So consider what you want, put your priorities first, and then let's talk, right? So often you can meet them of where they're at based on what they're asking for and how you can serve them better in that. I love the suggestions. So good. All right. Gonna wrap up a little bit with some other things that we're doing. Tomorrow night is the Business of Gut Health. Excellent event to invite a ton of friends. It's Jessica Hugendorn and Michelle Stuchel, two of my friends that I love and trust and have great respect for. And so I'm always excited to go find new prospects and say, hey, do me a favor. Would you come listen to this? I think it'll bless your socks off, right? And give them an opportunity to come and see what and who Plexus is from someone else's voice than just mine. So using a third-party tool there. Book studies, we're still doing the Energy Bus. We're getting through that pretty fast because it's a very simple read. We're really, really enjoying the discussion because it's such an easy concept. What we're doing is integrating the mindset. That's what we're doing there. And then the John Maxwell study, Leader 2.0, is starting tomorrow night after. Is it before the business of gut health or is it after? Now I'm questioning myself. I know it's tomorrow night. I forgot if it was before. I think it's before.
Is it before? I thought it was after. Let me quickly check.
I know that it is tomorrow.
Yeah,
That one's going to be super good. We have done Developing the Leader Within You before. This is John Maxwell's updated book. And I can promise you, I think none of John Maxwell's books are ever only a one-time read.
It is before.
It is before. Okay, awesome.
Mm.
Every time I read his books for the second time, I get way more out of it. And especially if there is multiple people discussing different things. So this is going to be running between several different teams. There's going to be a lot of people on. I think it's going to be an excellent study for some leadership development. And we're in the process of planning a couple of events for our team. So keep that in mind. And if you have an idea, please share. I think that's all we had. Anything you guys want to add? Oh, that little baby is so cute. How is she so big already? You just had a baby. Wonderful. All right. Thanks for being here, ladies. Have a great night.